All right, I got a Z-Force zero-turn S. This is a 2011-2012 vintage, I believe. 48 inch. I broke the blade drive belt, and since I dropped the deck to get that off, I thought I would replace the drive belt as well, which is down in here. And I've done this before, but it's tricky, and so I thought I'd make a video about how I'm going to do it. All right, dropping the deck is pretty easy. You got to take the belt off of the rear drive, which is this thing right here. There's a idler pulley here that you can put a 1/2 inch socket in to give you leverage to loosen the belt. Once you got the belt loose from the main drive on the motor, there's a metal bar that sits in there, and then there's just 4 cotter pins. So you pull the pins and a metal bar will slide out of these. Make sure this bar's loose and this whole thing just slides out of from underneath the mower. Once I drop the deck, you want to jack it up. I actually just have it on some car stands here, and then I'm using a car jack because to get at the belt, there's a cover here, and I've already taken off, but there's 1 bolt here and 1 bolt here. And as far as I can tell, this thing simply will not come off with the tires on. Now in the past, what I did was I deflated this tire, and you can, if you get it all the way flat, you can push that in far enough and slide that cover off. But what I did this time is I just jacked it up a couple inches off my stand here, took the bolts off, took the tire off, and then this thing slides out really easy right where that tire is. You can see it's hitting now. So after I did that, you'll see there's 2 pulleys here that the drive belt goes around, and there are these belt stays. There's these metal pieces, and that helps the belt. And you can see this belt is just about shot. You see a big, nice camera work there, big nick there. I'm pretty sure the last time I pretty much just forced the belt through there to get in there, but that can't be good on the belt. It could nick it or put a little tear in it. It's just gonna, and what I've noticed is these bolts look like they're long enough so I can drop this pulley far enough down that I'll be able to, without taking the pulley all the way off, I can probably get the belt in there. Well, this one for sure, it's got a long bolt on it. This one probably has to come off. So the other pulley is over here. So once I got those off, then you just run the belt around this pulley, that pulley, inside that pulley, inside that pulley, and then around to the drive. Now the tricky part, the other tricky part is this whole clutch. This whole clutch has to come off. So here's the mower blade's pulley, and I slide a tiny little screwdriver underneath there and then pull on that until it comes up. Get the cover off, and then you can see there's a star drive in there. That cover's then got to come off, and that gives you access to the top side of that bolt for that clutch. And you can put if you're using hand tools, you can put a wrench on there and then wrench on the bottom, and that should loosen and come off. What I'm gonna try today is I think I'm gonna leave the cover on, and I got a new electric impact wrench here. I'm just gonna try and hit that bolt underneath here at the impact wrench, see if I can get it off. All right, once I have this thing down, then the drive belt goes up in there, and I should be able to thread it all through. I guess the main thing here is that mower deck's got to come off, because there's a belt here that'll block you from putting that belt on or putting the drive belt on. So we'll see how it goes. All right, as I've loosened this bolt here, notice the string or the spring is kind of fighting me. It's putting tension. It looks like this is not a solid piece. This piece is bolted onto that piece with that nut. So I think I'm gonna take this spring off. I have to go this way and up just to release the tension here. That might be a problem getting it back on. It looks like I can pull it from this end with the wire on the end of a spring hook, or a wire on the end of the spring trick. We'll see. All right, that spring is actually part of the parking brake. See, as I pull the parking brake, I'm putting tension on that spring. So I released the parking brake. That's taking most of the tension off the spring. Should make the spring easier to take off. You know, be careful. Don't let your mower go off your ramps. I got my brake, so that's probably not going on. Looks like I got a 5/8 socket driver on there. Alright, this is why taking the cover off is kind of a pain. You gotta first take the air filter off. Got a gas line holder there, bolt, bolt, another bolt here. These bolts you can just loosen because they slide on like that. The cover does. They slide on like that. So once you get these loose enough, this should just lift up. And for the gas line here, what I usually just do is if you take those two screws out, this will stay together and I don't have to disconnect any gas lines. I guess the other kind of annoying thing is this holds the oil fill tube in place. Again, you can just loosen it enough and this whole thing should just slide up. It's still pretty tight. It looks like I gotta loosen the bolts a little more. All right, I ended up taking the back 3 bolts off and made the cover loose enough to get at it. You know, over the years I've had this cover off before. I tend to get a lot of grass buildup in these fins here. It looks pretty clean now. Usually what I'll do is I'll just take a blower or a shop vac and blow it out and suck it out the best I can. Take a little screwdriver and poke down in there. So here's, this looks like this is a Torx T30 star drive. Looks like I bought this exclusively for this job a couple years ago. So that'll go in there. Yeah, that goes in there. And that will get this metal cover off, and then I can get at that bolt so I can put a wrench on the top side and turn on the bottom side. Let's see. These are your magnets to get the current. You want to be. I've had a mouse chew through these 2 wires one year, and so I replaced this wiring harness. You want to be very careful to get that gap just right. I've been told it's pretty much a business card. Put it in there. These are magnets, so you know if these bolts are loose, that thing will. No, these are the magnets. No, these are magnets too. That will suck in against the flywheel here. So now I'm telling you that. I guess I'm telling myself that for the future. I think I had the starter go out last year, and nope, that's not right. I had these gaps wrong, and I took it in, and they figured that out. The local Cub Cadet dealer, and figured that out. But in doing that, they checked my valve heights here, and when they put the cover back on, they just used they didn't replace the gasket. They just used that quick gasket seal. And as soon as I got home started up, it was just shooting oil out. I was lucky I noticed it. It burned up the engine. I think the gaskets were all of $13, and I replaced them and haven't had any trouble with it since. Just a reminder, I put the parking brake back on, and that loosens the tension on the belt so that when I drop that clutch, it's easier to get off. All right, here you can see I got the clutch off. There's my clutch. Be mindful, there's a key in here, a shear pin. Want that to stay in place. I don't know if it comes out or not. I ain't gonna mess with it real bad. You'll want that to line up here. If we don't move anything, it should just go right back in and line up with the anti-spin spot right there. You know, the parking brake doesn't matter with respect to the clutch because this is the dry pulley. This is the dry pulley all the way up here. So the clutch will come off whether it's in park or not, parking brake on or not. Now it's just a matter, this will probably wrap. You know, you can see this will probably roll right off with the parking brake. Hold on, is that right? Let's see. Yeah, parking brake on, it disengages power to the belt, and so the belt is looser. Let's see if I can get that off. Play it. Ooh, there she came. It's good on the knuckles. Put the phone down. This belt's got some thin spots, that makes it a little bit easier. Cannot get it. Here we go. Yeah, you can see, look how fast this belt is. It's supposed to be that thick, and it was ready to go. I don't know. I might have to play with it. I don't know if that thing comes off. I don't know how else I'm gonna get that belt on there. It might be tricky. I've done it before. I've seen other videos where they just take a wrench, little pliers, and bend that a little bit, but I don't really want to do that. It's going to make it, you know, I've done that so many times. We'll see. I'll play with it. All right, I got the belt off the main drive, but looking at it here, can I spin that? You can see the belt is in this pulley. You can see that. There's no way on. Let's see. Well. It's in there, and this wire bar appears to be some sort of additional belt guide to help that belt stay on. I think I'm gonna loosen these and see if this bar gets loose, make it easier to get that out of that groove. I can force it, but these fan belts, these plastic fans are kind of in the way. I don't really want to break them off real bad. Same thing on the other side. Here and here, I'm guessing if I just loose a little bit, that bar will fall down, a little bit wobble. All right, there's absolutely no room to get that belt off around the edge of the fan blades. So I'm guessing I could clean this up, take this big old bolt out, rusty bolt, and get it out. What I'm gonna do is I've got enough slack by taking the belt off the main drive. I just fed it through one of the fan blades here and spin it around. Turn the fan blade gently. You don't want to break the fan blade. Eventually it should come around. See that? Now it's loose. There you can see that guide is nice and loose now since I loosened it. I just want to get that on video, so when I go to put this on, I'm going to have to reverse that. Start over here and spin this one that direction. This is the gas tank side. All right. See, this belt is just in a really bad spot. Incredible, it's still running. All right, here's my replacement drive belt. Looks like I wrote Cub drive belt on that. Part number 954-04250. Brand. TD, made in Mexico. Hablo un poco de español. So we compare. Some of the old ones stretched, worn. Pretty close, probably should work. All right, this is why this really sucks. So there's this kind of guide here. He's supposed to help keep the belt on. This pulley, as far as I can tell, doesn't move, doesn't come down, doesn't come off. So I just force this through here. Can't be real great on the belt. I just put on gloves and pulled until I got her through. It looks like there's a little more room over here, and I think I'll be able to get it through. In hindsight, I suppose I could have started it and then probably with a little help gone on top side of the motor and turn that big bolt, and that would turn this whole pulley. So let's see if I can. That one looks like it just almost pushed in. I can see if I got the belt by sliding it in there. I can't really tell. All right, here we are. We're in the home stretch. This side goes on a lot easier. I've got it on the front pulley over there, front one over there with the fans. These are still loose, but you can see I've got a lot of play here. It'll just slide up in there. And then, let's see if I can do that on camera. No, probably need my other hand. That's going. There we go. Pretty sure I can just tighten everything back up, put it all back together, and I'm in good shape. I'll give it a good spin when it's tight and make sure it's on all the pulleys. You wouldn't want to start that up with it not on the pulleys right, or you'll have a bad day. All right, well, thanks for all the other YouTubers out there who's tried something similar. Some of them are very close to mine and have been really helpful. All right, well, this is the first problem I'm running into. I started tightening this side. A little gap in there, and it kind of feels like it's bound up. I don't know how tight to go, if it'll cinch down, if I gotta take that spring off. Maybe time for a new mower. I'm tired of doing this one. Alright, well, I took the parking brake off. There's less tension on the spring. You can see it's not lining up here. I don't know. I'm really hesitant to take this all off because then I gotta fight that spring. I guess I'll give this bolt a few more turns with the parking brake off. Let's see if that makes a difference. Let's see. Parking brake on. Yeah, it puts more tension on this side. Looks like. Alright, I just grabbed on here with the vice grip, pulled it that way, unhooked it. I don't know if I can put it back on that way. I'll get a bigger vice grip maybe. I might be able to take it, get that in there. I might be able to unhook it from the frame there, hook it on this side, and then pull it through that way. I'll put a wire on it. This wire hook, this yellow wire made that. I'll pull it through and then cut the wire or leave it there for next time. All right, here's the verdict. Pretty sure it pivots on this, and there maybe I don't know, might be a span or a spacer under there, another washer to help it pivot. I probably ought to put some never sees on there so it rotates on there. And the spring puts tension on this side. I do remember loosening this one the first time. These were really tight, and it felt like this piece, you know, it was torquing pretty hard, and I don't know, it felt like something could have bent or broke. I don't think I did in my case, but you know, I might take that apart and put some never sees in there. It'll probably make it's just the parking brake. So what's the verdict here? Next time, boy, if you took that spring off right away, it'd give you a lot more slack with these pulleys. Probably do that. We'll see how hard it is to get that spring back on. All right, I went ahead and took that pulley off. You can see it down there, and now you see what's bound up. So there's the, I'll show this. So you can see the pulley definitely has an orientation. This kind of male side goes up, and I like this. The nut on the bottom has that little lip, so it didn't fall on my wrench when I got her loose. And here's why I was bound up. You can see this sits in there and helps that parking brake spin. So I was gonna throw a little nut never sees on there, clean up a little, put it all back together. Yeah, boy, in the future, if you just took that all apart, that belt would go on easy, and this has got a long bolt, so you just gotta loosen it. And, yeah, that pulley went back together pretty easily after I took it apart, so that's no big deal. With the spring off, and again, I still gotta get that damn spring back on. All right, here's what I did. I put this spring on the back side, and I pulled it through. I had this, this wire harness, and I had a pull strap, and I got somebody pulling that. It was pretty easy to get through the hole, the big hole. To get that little end of the spring in that little hole seemed to be the hardest part, but a little help and pliers and a tap with the hammer and a screwdriver. I got her. All right, I'm just gonna cut that wire out. All right, the belt's installed. I put the clutch back on, tighten this bolt, had somebody hold on top, put the wire back together. Oh, wire clip here. It might be broken. Nope, looks good. Made sure this pulley was tight. Made sure that pulley was tight. A little bit of play there, more than I thought. We got the spring back on. I tightened this belt guide. Where's the other one? Right there. That's that metal bar in there. And I tightened this one and this one. And now, I guess I can try it, but I'll probably just put it all back together. I'm optimistic. All right, I put my 3 torque screws back in there. The metal cover underneath this plastic cover went on. I got my, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts, 2 screws on the gas lines there. Put the air filter on and should be good to go. Oh, I'll probably take my tire off so I can put this cover back on, that metal cover. And then I guess we'll try it out. All right, I'm gonna try and get this cover back on in there. I believe this kind of beveled side goes towards the seat, and this little bit goes towards the motor. And I've got my wheel off, you can see here. So I'm just gonna slide it through there. Except I'm trying to go under the wires. Real good, but it'll be one-handed. Some fools gotta hold the camera. All right, that looks pretty good. Yep, and the hole right here is lining up, and the cable's kind of covered up. It looks like it's lined up there. And it's officially a project because I pinched my finger trying to get that in there and put some tape on.